Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on Suge Knight. Listen, Suge Knight is currently serving a 28 sentence behind bars for the taking another man's life. He mowed him over with his car, hit and run in 2015. And the family of the man that lost his life is currently has a civil suit against Suge Knight. Now, the civil suit first was heard in court back in 2022, and it ended in a hung jury. So now it is in court again. I want to say the trial started yesterday, so we're going to see what happens this go around. But this particular video is more about Suge Knight's lawyer who wanted out. Now, I joke a lot on my channel because some of these lawyers, they're really getting paid. I'm talking $2,000-$3,000 per hour. Okay, I joke in there and say a lot. Oh, in my next life, I'm going to be a lawyer. But you know what? I take that back. Scratch that. I don't want to be a lawyer. Why? Because when you have a client, if you wake up and decide, you know what? I don't want that client no more. Well, it just ain't that simple. You got to ask the judge got to grant it, or your client themselves have to fire you, which is crazy. But that's the way it works. So this lawyer went to the judge and said, listen, please take me off this case. The judge said no. The judge said, only way you coming off the case is if your client fires you. And Suge Knight said, no, I'm not firing you. You got to try my case. And why not? Because the lawyer said that when he tried the case for Suge Knight in 2022, he never got paid. So yeah, Suge Knight want to keep him. Why? Because he's working for free. And the lawyer said to the judge that Suge Knight said something very disturbing to him on the phone, and he doesn't want to repeat it. Well, the judge still said no. Now that's a shame. You're talking about a thug. He a real thug for life. Okay, because but from behind bars, he's still being a straight up thug. Okay, so Suge Knight refuses to let lawyer quit. Retrial begins Tuesday. The Death Row Records founder appeared by video from prison Monday as his lawyer cited a breakdown in communication on the eve of a retrial in a wrongful death case. As he heads into a second wrongful death trial involving the fatal 2015 hit and run of Compton businessman Terry Carter, Suge Knight is digging in, refusing to let his longtime lawyer David Kenner withdraw from the case. A judge ruled Monday that Knight's resistance meant jury selection for the civil retrial would move ahead Tuesday. For the last 3 weeks, Kenner has been asking either Knight or the court to cut him loose. On Monday, Kenner said nothing had changed and he was not prepared to try the case again after the initial proceeding 3 years ago ended with a hung jury. Kenner again pleaded for his dismissal as Knight appeared by video from the San Diego prison where he is serving a 28-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter conviction stemming from Carter's death. Knight was wearing dark sunglasses, and that's so disrespectful to the court, a blue zip-up jacket. As he smacked on something, he kept tossing in his mouth throughout the 45-minute hearing. Now, if that ain't gangster and thuggish and disrespectful, you in court and you're not even going to respect the court. You coming in with some dark sunglasses, a blue zip-up jacket, and you eating something messy. But you know what? I guess he figured I'm doing 28 years, whatever. I'm not ready because I had a remedial breakdown in communication with Mr. Knight, Kenner said from the defense table in the courtroom in downtown Los Angeles. There's a conflict of interest. It is my position that the court should relieve me as counsel, and Mr. Knight should be able to try this case with counsel of his choice. Kenner said the defense had not subpoenaed any witnesses and Knight had not retained an investigator. At back-to-back hearings earlier this month, Kenner told the court that Knight had said something disturbing to him during a recent call that led to his request for release. He wouldn't say what it was. He also told the court Knight did not pay him for the first trial in the civil case back in 2022. Now, those two pieces alone, I'm not understanding why the judge didn't say, I'm going to cut you loose and grant you what your wish. Your motion to withdraw has been denied, and I stand by that ruling, Judge Thomas Long said Monday. It seems to me there's no reason you can't do the best you can to cross-examine and examine witnesses and present Mr. Knight's defense as well as possible. Of course, Mr. Knight is always free to remove you as counsel anytime he chooses. That's up to him. I feel like this man, and this is just Diva taking guesses here. What could be so disturbing? I just wonder if he told that man, like, if you don't win my case, something gonna happen to you. I don't know. Y'all tell me your thoughts. A short time later, Knight raised his hand to catch the judge's attention amid argument or over pretrial motions. Judge Long told Knight it wasn't customary for defendants to interrupt like that. He instructed Knight to talk to Kenna first. Because lawyer is supposed to speak to the judge, not client to the judge, okay, or defendant to the judge. But he said, but I don't talk to my counsel, Knight responded. I'm trying to communicate on the phone and no one takes my calls. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just want to have a fair trial and I need to communicate, he said. Over the weekend, I will call and nobody ever takes my calls. If the court could let Mr. Kenna know that I called to talk and we need to communicate, he said, urging Judge Long to force Kenna to take his calls. At that point, Kenna offered a possible solution, seemingly accepting that the trial is moving ahead over his objection. He asked for a court order, the court order giving him one strictly privileged, unrecorded call with Knight at the end of each court day. The reason I have not been talking is because Mr. Knight calls on a recorded line, and I don't like discussing legal strategy on a recorded line, Kenna told the court. The judge agreed to sign such a request. Now, I'm surprised. I guess you don't want to talk strategy on a recorded line, but if this man says something so disturbing to you that you want it off the case, I would want everything recorded, strategy or not. I wouldn't give a darn. I need to save my life. At the two hearings earlier this month, Knight appeared by phone only, not video, and admitted he was at odds with his lawyer. Still, he refused to let Kenna walk away. He's my attorney, and I'm not getting rid of him, he said on April 4th. At one point, Kenna asked Knight to please discharge me. This is crazy. No, I will not, Knight responded. I want to keep everything the same, and I'll be ready for trial. Thank you, Mr. Kenna. Thank you to all the parties. God bless. At the Monday hearing, Judge Long ordered a panel of prospective jurors for the jury selection to begin Tuesday. He said opening statements and testimony were expected to begin early next week. As he exited the courthouse Monday, Kenna said he still believes Knight has a chance to prevail in the long-running civil case. We have a superb chance of winning in a subsequent trial, and I believe that's what will happen, Kenna tells Rolling Stone. He said Knight was ready to testify again in his own defense. Well, yeah, of course he's not going to talk anything slick because he knows kind of, what he's dealing with. The initial trial over civil claims brought by Carter's wife, Lillian Carter, and his daughters, Nakia and Crystal, ended in a mistrial in June 2022, with jurors deadlocked 7-5 in favor of finding Knight liable. Graphic surveillance video depicting the deadly incident was shown repeatedly during the initial jury proceeding in Compton, California. In the footage, Knight truck is seen pulling into a driveway of Tam's Burger parking lot on January 29, 2015. Just hours after Knight and another man named Cleabone Sloan started a dispute outside a production office for the Dr. Dre and Ice Cube produced NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. In the Tam's video, Sloan is seen approaching Knight's truck and fighting with him through the driver's side window. The massive Ford Raptor truck that then reverses away from the lot, hurling Sloan to the ground. Seconds later, the truck races back into view, barreling over Sloan, still crumbled on the ground, and fatally mowing down Carter, who had been standing on the sidewalk. Oh, God. In his first ever sworn testimony about the incident delivered over a live video link from prison, Knight testified at the first trial that he visited the movie's production office that day to speak with Dr. Dre, born Andre Young. He testified that police had told him Young paid somebody to pow Knight 7 times at Chris Brown's pre-VMA party in the summer of 2014. Knight claimed Sloan acted aggressively toward him as he was turned away. Knight 60 told jurors that Carter, who he described as a longtime friend, subsequently invited him to a meeting across the street from Tam's later that day. He claimed Carter told him Young would be present and wanted to give him some bread. amid a disagreement over Knight's portrayal in the movie. Knight further testified that he only accelerated and ran over Carter because he feared for his life. He claimed Sloan brandished a pow and threatened him. Sloan, who also was injured in the hit and run, denied having a weapon during the confrontation. Testifying under a grant of immunity at a criminal hearing in 2015, Sloan said the item in his hands was a two-way radio that he used as a security guard on the set of Straight Outta Compton. Dre, through a lawyer, previously denied the allegation that he offered money to have Knight unalived. Given that Dre had zero interaction with Suge since leaving Death Row Records in 1996, we hope that Suge lawyer has a lot of malicious prosecution insurance, the lawyer previously said. Before the hearing ended Monday, Judge Long asked if there was any chance for a last-minute settlement. Both sides said such talks had broken down. Though Knight previously pleaded no contest to involuntary manslaughter in connection with Carter's death, he later claimed his prior public defender coerced him into the deal because the lawyers was not prepared for trial and Knight was facing a potential light sentence. Knight tried to overturn his criminal conviction in a filing that was rejected by a judge in March. He has since vowed an appeal. Well, I mean, with his appeal, though, what lawyer he going to get if he ain't paying the lawyers? He's scary. That's all I can say to this. I feel for the lawyer because you're probably working on this. You're probably, if you didn't get paid in 2022, I doubt if you're going to get paid in 2025. And I feel it's unfair that the judge didn't, release him. But, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts of a judge saying no to the lawyer being dismissed. He wasn't paid in 2022. He got a threatening message on a phone call from Suge Knight. And that's not enough to say, cut me loose. Anyway, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.